Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and I've got a very interesting video. Once in a while somebody who isn't me comes up with something pretty cool. I know, even I'm surprised. You know how everybody hates Modern right now? And if you say, I don't hate Modern, you're not playing against the right people in order to hate it. If you were playing against not even the right people, it's the average, most typical competitive Modern player, you would hate Modern too because Modern is a joke. It's all just solitaire, non-interactive, repetitive, almost no skill involved. It works or it doesn't, glass cannon garbage. Affinity is a joke, Storm is a joke, Infect is a joke. Then there's the AIDS mixed with cancer mixed with Ebola that is Lantern Control. Decks like that are a disease to the format. They're a disease to the game in general. And I could go on. I mean, you got Dredge. That's a joke. You just like flip your whole deck, put everything in the graveyard, take it back. It's not even Magic. It doesn't resemble Magic. It's just a waste of everybody's time is what it is. Oh, so competitive Magic sucks, don't play it, right? Well, Modern as a format was supposed to be really good. It lets you build whatever you want. I mean, you could get away with anything. If you want to build this tribal, that tribal, this kill deck, a kill mill deck, an all mill deck. You want to build a half burn, half aggro deck. You want to build a deck with a 15 card sideboard that changes the whole concept just as a joke. If you want to build a 5-color Progenitus Door to Nothing deck or whatever that card is, you can do it. You're supposed to be able to do just about anything. In fact, one strategy is come up with something that has never been in Standard because the card support wasn't there. Some really out there kind of win strategy that nobody's ever really thought of and has never been in the game. You create something brand new that you couldn't otherwise play. That's huge for deck building. The other major strategy or philosophy is take something like Devotion and just go nuts with it. Take something that was a heavy mechanic in a Standard set and max it out. Because if you really liked Devotion or you really like Constellation, okay, now take every enchantment in the game, take every triple black creature in the game, and throw it in a deck. I mean, you liked playing it, you're probably going to like playing it even more if it's, extended all the way to 8th edition. Because the card pool is, I don't even remember how many times bigger, I think like at least 15 to 20 times bigger than Standard, I think. Something like that. I mean, it goes back like, I don't know what, 12, 13, 14 years, something like that. I don't remember, but it's a damn lot of cards, that's for sure. So the flexibility, it's like a deck builder's paradise. Back in reality, it's a deck builder's nightmare because no matter what you build, you are going to get kicked in the face by Affinity and just all this non-interactive turn 4 garbage. Infinite this, infinite that, Kitchen Fang, Splinter Twins, well not anymore. Amulet Bloom, haha, not anymore. Should have taken Lantern Control with it. I mean, come on, Wizards, grow some balls and just ban Ensnaring Bridge. It's a piece of crap and it never should have been in the game. So casual, more friendly, more everybody's building a deck and let's test it out and see if it works type of Modern is amazing. I mean, it's right up there with Commander. It's Commander, but with consistency and a single purpose in your deck, usually. And I'm not saying you couldn't build that in Commander, and I'm not saying all Modern decks are like that, but in general. So Modern is broken, it's dying, they pulled it from almost every tournament because nobody wants to tune in to watch any kind of stream of Modern. It's so boring, it's so repetitive, it's so dull, it's so turn 4. I mean, maybe 1 in 10 games is worth watching because it'll actually be like a shootout instead of just, oh look, he got his combo off, oh look, he didn't get his combo off. The end. I would hate to be an announcer for Modern, except I would freaking love to be an announcer for Modern, because I'd be like, oh, here he comes with this garbage deck. Literally, does he get this off or not? Wow, I can't wait. Can we go to a different game? Oh, look, he's doing the Affinity thing. I bet he's going to, yep, drop out, yep, and then, okay, he won. Wow, I almost fell asleep in the middle of that. How riveting. So, one of my patrons on Patreon came up with a brilliant idea to fix Modern. Now, you guys know that like my idea, which this is not realistic. I do not think that they should turn around and snap their fingers and implement this tomorrow. This is unrealistic. It would be very detrimental. But if they really wanted to fix Modern, take 100% of the tier 1 decks and ban them all across the board. Tier 2 decks, there's like hyper competitive tier 2. There's at least 30, if not 50 decks. I mean, even like Black Devotion, that's like a newer one, and a lot of the other newer ones people are coming up with. All of them are like, I love this deck, but I just can't play around and then insert the name of a tier 1 deck here. Like, I have to run artifact destruction. I have to run creature removal. I have to run counter spells, or I'm going to lose the interfect. Artifact, interfect, and effect. I don't care. All that garbage. Back in reality, where most of us actually live, should they remove like $100 million worth of card value and piss off 90% of all Modern players? Probably not. But at this point, Modern is so broken, that's the only thing that would fix it. So they either can fix it or they cannot fix it, and basically they cannot fix it. But, like I said, one of my patrons came up with a brilliant idea. So if in your personal play group or at your, informal Modern Wednesday or whatever, if you wanted to implement this, it would be pretty cool, and it takes Modern down to dirt cheap. So here's his rule for what he calls fixed Modern. First of all, 100% of 8th edition is banned. I mean, if you've got a tree in your backyard and it's so diseased there's just no fixing it, get rid of the whole damn thing. 8th edition was a joke and it shouldn't have been the cutoff. Their logic for it was, we made the cards look different. That is literally why they chose it, according to them. I wish I was joking. I am not joking. So screw 8th edition, screw Boyle, and oh god, what else is from 8th? Just a bunch of crap. So 132 cards gone. Bye-bye. Well, actually, okay, so 8th edition is not 100% banned, it's just 8th edition is not recognized as being legal in Modern. If it was in 8th edition, but it was also printed after 8th edition, then it would still be legal, so don't want to misstate that. Second, all cards that use Affinity as a mechanic or Infect are banned. Thank God. Believe it or not, 84 cards. No more worrying about that garbage. In fact, I personally would add Cascade to that, but I mean, they've basically already banned Cascade. The maximum amount of any single card in a deck, including the sideboard, is 3 instead of 4. So none of this hyper-consistent super combo from Hell Glass Cannon garbage like Splinter Twin, okay? Splinter Twin, when you had to get 4 cards to match up with 4 cards, should never, in anybody's wildest imagination, been a viable deck. If you had to draw those cards naturally, it would never happen. I mean, 1 in 10 games tops. Oh, but then there's Anticipate and Serum Visions and this and that and that and that and that and that and that, and that and Tygams and Contingency and whatever you want to play to get just mad consistency with a garbage combo that should have been impossible. Well, good luck getting it when there's only 3 copies of a card. So instead, you're going to have to go with themes, mechanics, and much simpler, more friendly, more long-term things. You could still have just a power rush deck that wins on turn 5, but it would be a little bit more open to getting shut down and a little bit less consistent, less broken, less infinite combos. I can't even think of an infinite combo that involves, like, it would be 2 different cards and 2 different cards. So you got your infinite combo problem virtually solved. Also, anybody caught cheating will be banned from every event forever. 1 chance, you get caught cheating, the end, you're gone, done. Honestly, that's how the Pro Tour should do it. They don't, and nobody respects it. Simple as that. Nobody has any ounce of respect for competitive Magic. It just, everybody's assumed to be cheating, especially if they win consistently enough, and then they let cheaters back into the game. They get caught cheating again, they get banned again, and then they get let back into the game a second time. Once again, I wish I was kidding. I am absolutely not. That happened. Oh, but if you have a certain criminal history or you said something about liberals, oh, you're gone. You're gone forever. You're banned from even showing up to an event. Sorry. Oh, but if you're on a team, though, if you're on a team, like a famous team that they hyped up and want people to be fanboys of and you cheat, they'll just make you sit somewhere else and brush it under the table and then ban anybody from their stream who mentions it. They want that covered up like the government covered it up. That's how they currently do things. Not in this format, which I don't know how, like, literally a different version of Modern has different ban rules, because that's kind of like a DCI thing, but like I said, this is like a playgroup format, not something Wizards is going to roll out anytime soon, let's put it that way. Now here is the fun one. Based on the most popular cards in all of Modern, which just implies that they're perhaps potentially somewhere between hyper-powerful and overpowered, there are 85 cards that are outright banned and 351 that are restricted. I assume restricted means just 1 because that's all restricted has ever meant. Theoretically, restricted could mean 2, it just never has. So I believe what John said, and by the way, it was John Regula who said that this was like his awesome format he came up with, and I was like, yeah, we gotta share this with the world. I believe what he said was, yes, these came from just the most common cards. So it's just anything people have been playing, now you can't play. And that's actually interesting. Like even, I believe all the fetch lands around here, you can only run one. They're restricted. So if you have them, great, you know, whatever. But then if you don't have $2,000, you can still participate in this modern format. Like the Urza's lands are in the restricted list, Walking Ballista, Voice of Resurgence, just all these cards that you guys know. Thoughtseize, Thought Not Seer, that's garbage. I mean, like if you hate it, it's in here. Sylvan Scrying, you can only run one. No more hyper consistent, I'm going to get what I want. Surgical Extraction, no more, you know, absolute utterly jamming your opponent. Now, from the outright banned list, I've heard of actually very few of these cards, which is kind of surprising. But one of them's Living End. Oh, I've heard of that one. Pretty familiar with that pile of crap. But some of these other ones, I haven't heard of them. And so I looked up a couple and I'm like, why is this a thing? Like, I've never seen it in an absolute top deck, but holy crap. And I assume quite a few of these were also on the actual modern ban list to begin with. So it's very interesting. Obviously, I can't really throw up like the entire list, but contact John if you want a little bit more information about it. If it fits, I might put them in the description too. Hey, speaking of contacting Mr. Regula, he runs Regula TCG on tcgplayer.com. That's his account name / store name. He has 2,811 sales, which, that's like kind of a lot. That actually does beat my sales history. By the way, not on TCG Player. I don't use it. And he has 100% positive feedbacks and ratings and whatever else they ripped off from eBay. Hey, guess where I sell and buy on? You'll never guess. So I've got a link down in the description to like a shop by seller link to just him on TCG Player. You should definitely check out his inventory. The prices are pretty darn good. Also, from time to time, I've noticed that he carries like very specific patterns of cards and stuff. So if you're looking for something specific, just look it over and say, hey, oh, I get it. He sells those. Cool. I'm into that. Also, there's some other cool stuff down in the description related to my friend John. And definitely want to support him because he was nice enough to support me on Patreon. So I guess this is technically almost sort of a sponsored post, but not really. It's more like just like a Patreon reward tier, but whatever. I think the FTC wants me to say that. So if you head on over to his store and use promo code Wizards of the Coast Sucks and I Hate Modern, you'll get 100% off your order. That is not true, I just made that up. But you should definitely click on it anyway and check it out. Oh, and let me know what you think about John's epic idea of fixed modern down in the description. Or, no, why would you be in the description? Get out of my description. Leave it down in the comments section. I know everybody's going to say, oh, that's overkill, it's overkill. Yeah, I mean, okay, it's a lot of banned and restricted cards, but you can't argue with the fact that, okay, it's hyper aggressive, but it does fix the problem, doesn't it? So as long as people all agree to abide by the rules, if in your play group, you could play this and be like, yeah, it works. I mean, it does work. I've reviewed it. It works. So you can't argue with results. I mean, just you can complain that it's too restrictive or whatever. I don't know. Everybody has their own taste. I like it. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys next video.